This week we're back on the MG and we're actually installing the rocker assembly. Alright, so if you haven't already, I recommend watching the last two videos where we covered removing the old sills, replacing the cross member, and patching some metal in preparation for these to go in. Where we got to start is we got to get the inner step aligned. To do that, what I did is I've put the floor pan in the car. That showed me where the bottom of the step had to align to, and we got it aligned with the castle rail at the same time. And the castle rail had to butt up against the cross member. Then I weld the inside face plug welds here, and then I put the inner and the outer rocker sections on, clamp it all up, and then I know where the front has to get welded, so then it gets welded to the bulkhead. Okay, the inside member is now part of the chassis. Still a lot of welding to do on it, but it's not moving anywhere. It's attached at the front, at the top corner, right, I'll show you on the picture here. Yeah, right there. And I've still got a lot of welding to do here, but it's melded on its face. So I still can move left and right some at the back. Okay, now we've got the inner member as part of the car. It's tacked to the face here and it's tacked at the front there. Those will get finished welded later. Now where I'm at is back here. I've drilled this face so that I can weld it to the inside of the frame member here. But now what I gotta do is I gotta pull the castle rail off, through drill it so I have all the spots I can plug weld on the back and on the front, then put it back in. I've already drilled this little brace here. This brace is quite critical to the car, so don't forget to put that in before you start putting the outer and the inner in. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna pull that out and be right back with you in a minute. Okay, so as you can see, I've gone through, I've taken E-coat off of all the spots where there's going to be welds. I've drilled through along the back here where I have to drill or weld from underneath through this piece into the frame. And I've drilled the front tab as well, which actually I have to drill those ones out a size bigger. These are all 5/16 holes. So, I've also gone through and the tab that runs on the inside of the frame member, I've drilled that as well so that for this, I'm not welding from underneath, because otherwise I'd have to drill the castle rail. This way I can weld from above, I'm not getting covered in slag, and it should actually be a better end result because your weld will be on the side that's, at least it's not supposed to be exposed to weather as much. So okay, so we've got this more or less clamped in place. So I'm going to start welding certain points, and I'll probably have to make some adjustments as I go, make sure everything's lined up nice and happy. The brace I will weld in last, as well as these ones here. Hopefully I don't forget. it's something I've been known to do. So we're gonna get started here, and hopefully in an hour we have something that's mostly welded in place. Okay guys, so it's in there. We got the castle rail all welded up except for the spot from the bottom here. We've got the front end welded, all stitch welded down the length of it. Or sorry, not stitch welded, plug welded. We got the top part here, the side. So these two pieces are completely welded in place now. So something to note, it's worth measuring this piece and seeing what your distance top to bottom is. Mine's just a little, it's about 5 9/16. And you just want to measure this section, make sure you're the same distance apart. I'm a little over, but I can tighten that up with the floor jack. It widens up a little bit back here, but in the front, I'm just about perfect. So that's something to watch for, is that you're in the right ballpark, because if this gap is like 6 inches, you're gonna have a bad time. So watch for that. Okay, so just before I throw the next pieces on here, I'm going to put some self-etching primer on all the bare metal that where the E-coat peeled off from the heat. Because it makes sense to do it. And that's all the excuse I'm gonna make for that. All right, guys, once again, I'm glad I'm stopping at every stage and sitting back and just pondering this, because I realized still got some metal here to remove. It's what's left of the quarter panel that wraps in and behind the B-pillar here, and I totally forgot about it. Yeah, I still got to remove that, but the outer and the inner are clamped in place. If it weren't for this, I'd be able to start cross-drilling and welding. Okay, so I took some time this morning. I removed the metal from the back side here, far enough up that I can get the rest of the rocker assembly in. I finished welding the bottom of the castle rail here to the rear dog leg, because I forgot to do that yesterday. And then I just cleaned it up, put some primer down. I'm gonna put a little bit of trim clad probably on the inside of the frame rail, just for long-term protection, because self-etching primer is not a, it won't seal it, So I'm hoping the trim clad will. All right, guys, we are ready to start welding. Now, you'll see I've used a lot of Clecos on the front and some vice grips down the middle. And you can't see them now, but in the time lapse, you saw me put some Clecos at the back. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to start in the middle, then I'll drill a hole, and then I'll weld it. And I'll do that all the way down the length of it. And I will be using aircraft drill bits. Now, aircraft drill bits, there's not really anything too special about them. They're just really long. And that means I can work from out here. I can drill through, and I won't be hitting the rocker nonstop, which would cause it to the drill chuck to hit it, and then maybe things go out of alignment. So I'll be using these, and that should work quite nicely. And so that's the plan. I'm going to get started on this. What I'll probably do actually is I'll probably drill all the ones down the center here, weld those, then do the ones at the front. So we've got all the top spot welds inside the door frame done. We got a couple back here. We got 2 in the front. So now I'm gonna start doing the alignment and welding the bottom. Probably only get maybe 5 across the bottom, then I'm gonna call it for the day, but it'll be enough to give you a good idea. And then I'll finish the rest of the spot welds off camera because you guys have seen enough now. Okay, so if you can ignore the noise from the heater here, we're ready to finish welding this thing. Got a little bit up front, along the bottom, and a little bit in the back. I didn't get as much done yesterday as I thought I did, apparently. But I got the hard stuff done yesterday. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the bottom, then I can go through and finish weld all of these. Now the reason I'm doing that order is I want to add some to the bottom so I can take the clamps out, but I also don't want to start ripping stuff out up here. So I kind of gotta do a little bit here, a little bit there until everything's done. Okay guys, well, it's not finished being welded. I've got 2 spots left on the cross member. I do have to do some more in the front, some more along the bottom, but there's enough there that it's sitting here on stands that shouldn't move. So I'm gonna take you along for the ride as I pull this out. And I'm gonna find out really quick if she's still straight, because I'm gonna go get a door and try and bolt it in. Also, the thing could just go spraying when I pull this out, and then I know I've done messed up. So here we go. Okay, well, that's all the screws out. Well, now what am I going to do with them? This is one of those times where I'm really glad I went overkill with the number of plugs in here. Now I should be able to go with my favorite hammer. It didn't move! Yes! Oh my God! Yes! Oh, thank God. I have a door back on. And my body gaps aren't that bad. Less than 1/8 of an inch, and more importantly, consistent top to bottom. Anyways, the door fits. The chassis didn't go spring when I pulled the brace out, so all in all, huge win. I don't even know what to do. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. And if you've watched the previous videos on the removal and the cross member, thank you very much. Hopefully they help. If not, if there's something you think I could do better, let me know in the comments. I'm more than open to change, because my video editing skills are even worse than my auto body skills by a substantial margin. So I'm going to sign off, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.